I don't think there's a question if he had a gun. I think he had a gun. I don't think he pointed it at the police. I think it's highly unlikely that he's running, picking up the gun because it happened so quick. It was like 6 seconds. It was literally like about 6 seconds. So they ran out of the car. He dropped the gun. He probably picked up the gun for whatever reason, obviously, because they don't want to be caught with a gun. You know what I'm saying? Or leaving the gun behind. And and the police shot him. I think he just had a gun. But I say all that to say that, you know, here's the question. Are all these scenarios the same? Because so we go from the George Floyds to the Eric Gardners to the Philando Castiles to this
Tamir
situation,
Rice.
Tamir Rice. So I think here's the thing. I think we have to detangle all these things. Now, my thought is this. I think that this situation is probably wrongful shooting or whatever you want to call it. It's a crime by the police to kill him. The dad crashing out. Here's my thing about the dad crashing out. I do get it, but I think the dad crashing out was wild. Because now you ended up killing a police officer who was semi retired directing traffic at a graduation. He has nothing to do with it, right? So you kill an officer who ain't got nothing to do with it. He's older, about to graduate, about to retire, and then now you took it away. Rodney Hinton is going to jail more than likely, unless he can get off by reason of insanity. But he's going to jail more than likely. And what a lot of people don't know, from what I understand, he has two other kids. You see what I'm saying? So he didn't crashed out now. He got two other kids, two other younger kids who probably ain't gonna have no dad in their life now. So I understand as far as the contextual concept of us being frustrated, but I think it's important to detangle and understand, okay, well, what was the scenario? If I'm going to crash out, how am I going to crash out? So my position is that if he was going to crash out, he crashed out the wrong way because I think that now is just crazy. But
Where the insanity plea comes in, and why is that not being considered? We going immediately to, oh, we're gonna throw the book in ham of this, and we're not detangling where this father was, this black man who, yeah, historically we go through all these things and have to take it, take it, take it. But that's still a sane mind. But you lose your child and you go out and you kill the first white police officer you see. Why is that not insanity? There's
well,
there's no thought, there's no organization, there's no planning. You just went out and acted. Is that, I mean, what are the standards to reach the insanity? Are they exploring that? Or is it
well,
just
I
Insanity.
I
throw
get
them in
it. I don't
jail?
I don't know if they're going to consider. I don't know if
It don't
court
sound like
is
they
going to
are.
consider because every time
Well,
something happens to a black
insanity is a
person, I don't know
defense.
if they're going to
That's
say,
not something that they
well,
consider beforehand.
go ahead, twin.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
cut
no,
you
I'm,
off.
no. I'm just say this and I'll back off because I've been talking. I'm just saying that I don't think they're going to be able. They're going to consider all the context of everything that's happened to Black Americans when it comes to his defense. So I understand the point, but I don't think they're going to be able to, look at it from that perspective. They may say he was a temporary insanity, but I think it's going to be a hard pressed case for them to go for towards that because it just looks like revenge. Now, if he had killed the officer who did the shooting, or or maybe the family of the officer, then I could probably see that. But I think he just crashed out and killed the first thing he saw.
Well, I'll say this real quick. Insanity is a defense. That's not something that they're going to consider beforehand. That's something that's always after the fact. And in many cases, a judge has to even allow an insanity defense to be presented. He could exclude that. Insanity statistically has a very, very, very low success rate because the legal definition of insanity means that they could not appreciate right and wrong at the exact time that the incident occurred. So that's a very hard thing to prove that he had no idea what he was doing, what was happening at the time, had no idea that what he was doing was wrong. And that will likely fail if that's what they try to say in that case. He will likely not. He'll likely be found guilty if that's the defense that they're going with. You know, maybe some sort of diminished capacity, maybe some sort of heat of passion would be a better defense than trying to get off completely with it, with an insanity plea. I mean, that's just, you know, my thoughts on that.
I don't know if there's a right way to crash out. It's the term crash out suggests something that you're out of control, that you're crashing. To start with. Second, you mentioned the way he went about crashing out. Again, we as black people in this country have been conditioned to always either turn the other cheek, take a higher moral ground, look at things in a more whatever, perfect way, while others have the privilege of being imperfect humans. He said he killed somebody that had absolutely nothing to do with it, this, that, and the other. Also, to tie in what B Rock said earlier, not knowing who the person was, but you know the person was on the job and you chose somebody. There's a long history in this country of instances where innocent black folks got caught up in some bullshit and they weren't, there's plenty of, they should have never got locked up, black folks.
Sure.
There's plenty of, they got beat down because they was just in the wrong place, the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong
Got
time.
plenty,
Yep.
we got plenty of those. We got plenty of stories such as Rosewood that started out with allegations
Sure.
on this person, that, you know. So they've always had the luxury of arresting, killing, beating, whatever, the wrong person. Oops, my bad. We were upset. We thought you was. Sorry. They've always been able to do that with us.
Well, let me
See,
ask you with that. Now, what would be the? So I feel that, but I guess my answer is that the historical context of this country is definitely that. There's
but
no.
see, also,
But
we've been conditioned to accept that as well as black folks, similar to the black doll, white doll experiment. So
but what? Wait.
we see it
But,
the same way they do when it comes
but
to us.
what are you? What are you? Okay, but let me keep it to this case for a minute. So what are you? If he's gonna crash out, what do you think should be? What do you think should happen? I understand why he crashed out, but I'm saying that what do you think is? Do you think that's the right way to go about it? Because at the end of the day, I feel like crashing out is crashing out. I do agree, but I guess once you do that, if you got two other kids, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, what I'm thinking is that okay, if I'm a dad, because we got to think about the bigger picture of what you're doing in your life. Every black person, if you're gonna carry the historical context of what happened in the country and live your life by that, you're gonna go blow somebody's head off today. To me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool, I feel you, but I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna go kill the first cop. There's so many cases like that. For example, just for a quick example, Tyree Nichols. The five cops who beat Tyree Nichols, if y'all remember Tyree Nichols from 2023, were black in Memphis. They beat this kid basically to death. They were black and they just got acquitted. Now it was an all white jury, so I won't, leave out those details. But, again, this isn't even a black white thing per se in that case because he was beat by five black officers. So I agree with you. The relationship with black people and the police is always been bad. But my thing is that if the dad crashes out and he has two younger kids and he crashes out and kills some other deputy, it doesn't make sense to me. It gets to a point where it's
But
like, bro,
that's
what are you doing?
that's Monday morning quarterbacking. Days later, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, or Friday night quarterbacking.
Well,
When
we're doing that with a purpose.
we're not talking about
I'll say
our
this.
own.
I'll say this.
Go ahead, B-Rock.
There is not a proper way to crash out. You can't tell me how I'm going to crash out, but there is a proper time to crash out. And I think his was premature. You have to, because what he did has now taken the light off of his son's case and moved it to his case. Um, if I'm going to crash out in that scenario, I'm probably going to wait till I find out more details or this my son's case gets, I don't want to say wrapped up, but we get some kind of answers on that case before I make my, because that's pure emotion is what that is. He's operating off pure emotion. But you have to be able to harness that. And if you're gonna crash, I'm not saying, look, rest in peace to the officer. I'm not saying what he did was right at all. I do understand the crash out. I just think he crashed out too early because you have to wait to see what you have to at least let your son's case and all the details of that come to light. Because now we're not even talking about that anymore.
Yeah,
And
because
that's